Hey guys, it's Joni. It's been a while, I know. I've currently been battling my marijuana addiction that has plagued me for the better part of 6 years of my life. I first smoked weed when I was almost 16 years old. It was at a friend's birthday party where he got some bud on him, and we actually snuck out of his house. He lived on the topmost floor, like the second floor, and in the middle of the night, we snuck out onto his roof and like Mission Impossibled it and stumbled out to go to our stoner friend, like Baja Rag and everything. Actually, you might be watching this, Brahim, so shout outs to Brahim. This was my first smoke experience when we went to his house. And I remember loading up his wooden kind of pipe where it was like a hollow kind of wood thing with the bowl on top, so you put your hand against it and smoke it. And I remember not really feeling much with the first inhale, and then hit it again, and then boom, lift off. Just I felt giggly all of a sudden, and everything was super funny. Like I just couldn't stop laughing. And one of the guys there had this bag of the orange slices, like the orange slice candy you can get at mini marts. And I remember taking a bite out of it. It was the first thing I ate when I was high, and it just tasting so much better. It just tasted it was almost like, that scene in Ratatouille, right, where he's eating the cheeses and the wine and the fireworks are going off in his head. That's what it was like for me, just taking a bite out of these orange slices. I just felt like Ratatouille, just the fireworks going whoosh, whoo, like, oh my god, it tastes so great. And we went out later that night. He let us borrow the pipe so that we could smoke more of the weed that my friend had at the time. And we just had a great night, just going around, laughing, goofing around, smoking weed. And we somehow managed to like climb back onto his house roof and stumble back in at like 2 in the morning. Woke up the next day still kind of high, and his parents made us like the most stoner breakfast in the world. It was like perfect synchronicity. We had cheddar bacon pancakes for breakfast. And if you haven't tried that, where you melt the cheese and bake the bacon into the pancakes, it's super bomb. I mean, if you're high or not, that's some bussin' food right there. So that was the beginning of my journey, which really just turned into a straight up addiction for a while. I got hard into it when I turned 16, and I remember like it just became a part of my life. Like the more I smoked, the less magical it was, and the more it just became kind of a daily routine, to the point where I was working my first job at like Target, in the fucking Target cafe, and I wasn't paying rent at the time. I'm a 16-year-old kid, so all my money was going to friggin' weed and munchies, and just I think also the social aspect. All my friends were doing it, were smoking it consistently, so I love to like go out and hang out with my friends, smoke a couple blunts, the act of getting high together and then going to the mini mart to buy junk food and enjoy it as a group. That was really part of the appeal for me at first, cuz was the social aspect of it. And that's kind of the insidious nature of like Mary Jane, at least for me. It just kind of drew me in. It was like, oh, I love it because like I feel part of this community that I otherwise wouldn't have been a part of. And so yeah, I pretty much was smoking every day, all day long. Like it got to the point where junior senior year, when I was in an aviation program, for fuck's sake, and I wasn't taking anything seriously as I could have, because I was high all the time. Like, I'm reasonably intelligent, so I could still function well on it. I could pass my tests, be there in the class, but I wasn't really like present or focused as I could have been. I remember even during my aviation program, we would have like 15, 20-minute breaks for like downtime and bathroom time. And I had the balls to like go out in the school parking lot because I parked my car behind the school parking lot. And literally during like the 15-minute break, I would roll up my own J and just take it to the dome real quick. And then I had everything right, like the mouthwash, the eye drops, the deodorant, the cologne, like everything to be able to mask my scent and play it cool as you would. I'd walk back into class high off my ass, and like only the kids sitting at my table would know better. Like, oh, Jonas, you fucking smoking again, man? Damn, like I thought it was cool at the time. Like that's what was cool, just showing up to school high. And yeah, like I remember during high school, we got our first drug counselor, and I was one of the first people that was sent to her office to discuss my problem, because people were actually like concerned for my well-being since I was smoking so much. And at the time I was immature about it and just like, well, who told you I had a problem? Like, what the fuck? Like, who thinks I have a problem with this or whatnot? Because I really thought I was really like deluding myself into thinking like, all the excuses you make, like, oh, it makes me more creative, it makes me more chill, it makes me more open. I've always personally dealt with like anger issues that I'm still resolving to this day. And so I had a lot of like feedback from my peer group where they would say, oh, Jonas, like you're so much more chill when you're high and when you're smoking. And we like you better when you're smoking, which sounds really bad, right? But at the time, like, I was so just kind of blinded by the haze, the haze, if you will, Mary Jane, that I agreed with them. I was like, yeah, man, you're right. Like, I am better when I'm high. I'm a lot more chill. I don't let things get to me as much, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, all I was doing was kind of stuffing those emotions into this suitcase, just this super full suitcase, just get in there. And the more I'd smoke, the more I'd have to smoke to get to the same level of high, the more often I'd had to smoke. I couldn't smoke mid anymore. Like, when it first became legal and dispensaries were legal, me and my homie would stand on the street corner legitimately and just keep asking people walking by, like, hey, can you get us a J? Hey, can you buy us an eighth from the dispo? And almost every single night we would have some guy who'd be willing to do it for us, and he would go into the store and grab us, like, and we'd spend like $40, $50, $60, and it was usually my money for my check because I'm not paying bills. So we'd get like top of the line weed every single time, just the frosty top shelf. We're smoking that good, like that gelato shit. And honestly, like, it's such a financial kind of sink. Like, your money just goes down the drain. It hurts your wallet, it hurts your mental health. And I know that a lot of people can function on it, and they do smoke it for good reasons, like they have legitimate health issues where it's helping them. I'm not downplaying that at all. But for me personally, for my story, it wasn't about alleviating a health issue. It was about self-medicating to try and cope with my emotions and how I wasn't able to deal with them naturally. And, I had given tolerance breaks on and off in the 6 years that I had been smoking, 30 days, 2 months, what have you. And I always, every time I did it, I always was like, wow, I feel so much better sober. Like, I have more energy, I have less anxiety, I'm more willing to go out and be my goofy self around others. and I had more motivation to do like the extracurricular things that I enjoyed, like making music, for example, just to name an example. Oh. Yeah, but anyway, so right now I am over 2 weeks sober off of it, and mind you, I was dabbing every day pretty consistently. I must have gone through at least 8 grams of like shatter and wax and all that, and the terp sauces. Oh, the terp sauces, man, so tasty. But I'm giving it up, okay? Because I just realized it wasn't serving me anymore. You know, I've got my baby and my girlfriend that I need to support now, and me spending all my money on weed and kind of like not really being there fully, like it just wasn't serving me in that way. And so for the past 2 weeks, I've dealt with the worst withdrawal symptoms that I've ever had quitting weed. I was getting cold sweats. I was getting legitimate panic attacks with this tightness in my chest and these irregular heart palpitations. Like I thought I was dying straight up. There was a couple times where I felt like I needed to go to urgent care, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I didn't even realize it was the withdrawals at first because I had quit before, and yes, it was hard to go to sleep at night. It was hard for me to eat. I had a loss of appetite, and I could only eat like processed junk food because my taste buds were so screwed up. And I still had all that, and I'm just now starting to be able to sleep again, thank God. But the anxiety, the panic attacks, the cold sweats, I was not prepared for. And I should honestly be thankful for them, because having gone through the worst of it makes me even more motivated to quit for good this time and just be my best self. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to stop smoking or whatnot, because ultimately you have to come to that conclusion yourself from your own life experience. But I just wanted to kind of make a more heartfelt, personal video for you guys to let you know what was going on with me. I'm going to try to upload more in the future, maybe make some more videos like this, kind of detailing stories of my life, because I kind of lived like my 20s party days from like 18 to 20 in a way. So I have like a lot of condensed like poor decisions that I can now look back on and be like, oh wow, that was bad, but hey, it makes for a good story, man. So yeah, that's where I'm at, you know. And if you're watching this and you smoke weed every day and you don't think it's a problem, I would just encourage you to, you know, maybe just take a break, you know? Maybe for even a couple weeks or 30 days, just see how you feel without it, and then kind of reassess and be like, okay, do I still need this? Does this serve me? Is this helping me be the best version of myself that I can be and what I need to become in the future, you know? So just something to think about, you guys. All right, thank you very much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe button. Help your boy out. Share this video to someone who might be struggling with the same thing or a similar addiction. And yeah, I think I'm just going to try and make more content like this where I'm just talking to you guys. And once I get some more money, get a better web camera so I don't look like shit. But anyways, y'all have a blessed day and stay up.